game. The Denver Broncos are playing the Houston Texans. I have my notes here, and they read, these teams are both 6-5, LOL. Which is kind of funny to think about. These teams, the Broncos and the Texans, are 6-5. The Broncos coming off of a big win against the Browns by way of knocking out backup quarterback DTR. Unfortunately, Joe Flacco didn't come in. PJ Walker came in. Myles Garrett also went down with a shoulder injury that game. Flacco wasn't even dressed to play. He was in his street clothes. The Texans are coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Jags, which I will send over to Ryan Perrio, resident Texans insider, Texans analyst on the game cast here. What did you think about the Texans and the Jags game?
It was heartbreaking to watch. If it was a 57-yard field goal, we're going to OT. Unfortunately, we had a kicker that kind of just couldn't seal the deal for us. CJ Stroud's also a young QB, and he's going to learn the hard way that you can't hold the ball like that and clutch time like that. You've got to take the short yards. Yeah.
Disappointing, very much so. And the books are kind of predicting a bounce back game for them here. The Houston Texans are 3.5-point favorites at home. The over-under is 47, which is, also surprising high over-under. If you were to ask people, week 2 of the season what this over-under was going to be, I'm sure it was somewhere well within the 30s, now all the way up to 47. We're going to see hopefully a shootout here in Houston. And I'm just going to sit back and maybe enjoy this game of two winning records going up against each other. It's been kind of surprising. James, what do you think?
Yeah, I was very shocked at how well the Broncos offense played. Definitely went up a couple pegs on my leaderboard. Russ might be not cooking, but he might be sizzling a little bit. Maybe pre-seasoning the meat before it goes on the oven or on the grill. But I really like this Broncos play. Plus 165. If I had to guess what it was going to be before this week, I would have had it at 130. So I think there's value in that. I'm going to take the Broncos money line here.
So, yeah, Broncos money line. You are a big fan of just betting that plus money line if you think there's like a 50% chance that it happens, and you're just grabbing a great value here. So I do appreciate and respect what you were doing as an individual. I'm just not super sold on the Broncos in a tough position. We might be seeing, a slight overreaction from some people coming off the win against the Browns. It might just be Browns might just be dead. Browns might just suck now. So I guess we're going to find out. And you think that the Denver Broncos are for real. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to find that out. Ryan Perry, what do you think?
I'm going to take the Texans and the under. I think this is going to be a low scoring affair. I think Denver's defense is going to show up, but I think Houston's going to do just enough to win the game, but I don't think it's going to be a 47-point game. I think last week, even with the Jaguars playing wide open as they didn't even reach their over at 48. So I feel like that the under in Houston is the bet for me.
Okay, so that's an under in Houston for Ryan Perrio. Miles?
This is an interesting game. I think it's fun that on paper, the next game we're going to talk about would arguably be the game of the week, the 49ers versus the Eagles. But I think this game is sneakily going to be the best game of the week. We got two teams that I know for certain, the Denver Broncos, when we were doing our early season power rankings, they made our top 5 at least once, if not more than 1 week. I believe the Houston Texans may have also started out there, and both teams have really turned things around. They're really cooking coming into this middle part of the season, going towards the playoff picture season, if you will. I'm excited to watch this game. I don't really feel that I would bet anything on this game just because at this point I'm still processing how either of these teams are doing this. But it's fun to watch. I love enjoying it along the way.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to find out if they are for real. We've seen, shitty teams like this, like the Bengals in recent history, just kind of rise to the occasion, kind of in the later midpoint of the season. So maybe
for Houston specifically too, it's always interesting when an injury, in a weird way, I hate to say it, improves your team, but Dameon Pierce going down really opened the door for Singletary to kind of show out and show off. And man, he has been a top tier running back 3 weeks in a row now. And as much as I was really hoping Dameon Pierce was going to have a breakout season this season as a fantasy manager of his, Singletary has been the one that has really taken the shining.
Yeah, sometimes it does take a little nudge in the right direction. And hey, I try to talk you out of keeping him, but couldn't talk you out of it. Moving on.
I still got him in the 8th round. I still don't feel like it's the worst. But.
Yeah, I mean, you got an all right value, but I think I was trying to talk you into Freiermuth, which you probably would have dropped when he got injured. But anyways, moving on.